Okay, here I am today, one of my favourite pike venues. Already taken one load of tackle down to the swim I'm fishing. It's the first day of the season for pike fishing here, which means it's pretty busy. These swims are very popular, but they are already booked up, so the swim that I have booked looks really good. It's into nice deep water, but it's a fair trot. So I'll come back to you once I've arrived at my swim and got things set up. Okay, my rig is going to be really simple today. Snap tackle, size 6 trebles, semi-barbless, so the hook with the barb is to go into your bait. Wire trace, I make this up myself. My main line, I'm going to use mono on one, I'm going to use braid on the other, just to try a bit of both. But this mono, £15 mono. The one thing with a mono over a braid is if you're playing a particularly big fish, it does give it more shock absorption. So if it's not hooked perfectly, it's less likely to pull a hook than if you're fishing a braid. Now I know on a braid you can put like a shock leader to start with, which I probably will, a length of mono. Right, so then I've got this bead here. I say bead, it's a cover for the swivel, so that's going to push down over the swivel. So I've got my snap tackle, that, then I've got a running ledger. This has just got a little bit of buoyancy, just pop it up. If there's any weed, it'll just tend to sit that up a little bit in the weed. Nice free running, simple. It's all you need for pike fishing. You don't need to go super complicated. I've caught so many pike doing this. Okay, so my baits for today: smelt works very well. Got some roach because there's a massive head of roach in this this lake. So I've got roach, I've got smelt, and I've got joey sardines that I found, and sardines, mackerel, and I've caught, and most of my big pike I've caught on mackerel over the years. So I'm going to pop a joey on one, I'm going to put a smelt on the other to start with. I'll just put them away, keep them as fresh as I can. And I did have my first pike outing was last week, and it wasn't at all successful, but I think what didn't help is my frozen bait was 2.5 years old, and to say freezer burn on it was an understatement. But that's nice fresh bait, purchased this week, should be good. Now when you hook your dead bait, you want the hook facing back up the fish, because when a pike swallows the bait, it's going to turn it in its mouth, it's going to swallow it head first. You're going to pull the hook against the pike's jaws. So these little bits of plastic that I put onto my trebles, they're not so much to be an attractant, they're so that I know which treble has got the barb on it. Okay, I'm sure if you've got good eyesight and you're young, it doesn't matter. So on my second pike rod, again fish the same method with a ledger. It's a fairly weed-free bottom here. Admittedly, I haven't come down this far this swim. I'm normally a bit further up, but it's usually weed-free, snag-free. So I'm going to assume that's what's going on here. If it is very weedy on the bottom, I might put a hidden float on it and just pop it up, or pop the base itself up. But for the minute, I will fish like this. This one I'm going to give a bit of distance. I've got the smelt on this one, so I've got one just down here. I'm going to pop one out there, and then I'm going to do a bit of fishing just for roach and perch, just to keep myself amused whilst I'm waiting for something to happen. So that one will pop right out in the middle. It's nice and deep here, about 10-11 feet. Sink that line totally. I've had it on more than one occasion when I'm sinking the line, trying to just get everything as I want it. The line just kept going out, or keeps going out, and then I realised that I've actually got a take on the drop. So I'm going to use drop back bite indicators, exactly the same as if I was fishing for carp or whatever. It worked perfectly well. Let's just wind that on a bit, get that about level. Just going to tighten that just a smidge, not too much, because I don't want any resistance, because pike will drop a bait if they feel resistance. Okay, so make sure when you pike fish, and this is absolutely so vital, one, you've got unhooking mats, two, you've got to have a set of good long nose pliers, got to, otherwise you shouldn't be pike fishing. Got some wire snips just in case. As a kid, I remember when it was quite okay to eat pike, so when I was about 10 I caught a pike once which we took home to eat. It was about 6 pounds, and it had a wire trace in its stomach with a snap tackle, and the hooks had nearly totally dissolved, yet it was perfectly healthy pike, fought well and all the rest of it. It wasn't suffering. And I think sometimes the best route would be to do that. Obviously better still, when you get a take, don't leave it for 15-20 seconds. You don't need to. Usually I wait sort of 5-6 seconds, just make sure it's on there and just lean back into it. Not a massively hard strike. You will need to set those hooks. What I intend trying next time I come is bring some circle hooks with me. I saw a YouTube video, it's a bit late, I'd already packed the car. A guy saying he's gone to circle hooks and has a lot of success with them, and obviously far easier for the fish themselves. I make up my own snap tackles, and the reason being, well, one of the reasons, for example, I've caught a fish on that when I've used it before, and you can see it's got really badly kinked. Well, I'm not going to trust that to a fish again, so I'll simply reuse the trebles, reuse the swivel. I've got crimps with me, I've got wire with me, so again, just keeps me busy. Whilst I'm waiting for something to happen, I'll make up another snap tackle. Really simple, really straightforward to do. Like I say, what I'll do in a while is I'll make up a couple of snap tackles. Try and angle the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Quite straightforward. Just need to get some crimps, wire. I've got 3 or 4 different types and poundages of wire. Some strong swivels and trebles. As I said earlier, what I do intend doing, I'm going to make up some circle hooks on traces. I fish only circle hooks when I'm over in Florida, and that's for big fish such as tarpon and grouper and fish with very, very bony mouths, and it works on them, so it does make total sense that it would work for a pike. And just trying to extract one hook. The other thing is with a circle hook, they're designed so that they're not going to gut hook, so if for any reason it does swallow the bait, the hook should come straight out, no problem, and it's designed really to find the corner of the mouth, fork of the mouth or jaw. Got my net to hand. I've got a thing over here called a pike tube, which again I've just got it ready if I need it. Hopefully I won't need it. A pike tube is just somewhere you can put, it's not a keep net. If you've got a big pike and it's fought hard, they're pretty fragile, so you can put it in a pike tube. I'll be able to put it down in the margins there and just keep an eye on it. Just check that it is sitting upright, and it's got plenty of strength back. Once I know that it is upright and it's got strength back, I'll let it go. If I know it's full of strength, I'll just let it go straight away. But if I've got any doubt, I'll pop it into that pike tube. I'll probably put it down here in this shallow area and make sure it's fully revived before it goes back. Now, one thing that I've been doing, every 5 minutes I'm moving those baits 10 feet, and I'll bring them in and in and in till they're back here, and then I'll recast them. What I find with a dead bait, yeah, leave it static, leave it there for a good 10 minutes, but just a little bit of movement sometimes. I swear to God, sometimes if you've got a fish that's anywhere nearby and it's watching it, or even if it's not watching it, that bit of movement can catch the eye. Because again, the number of times when I do cast out and I'm just setting everything up, and that's when you get a run, it sees it on the drop. So just a little tip, seems to work quite well. Every now and again, move your baits. I think I'm going to put a carp rod out here, just for the hell of it. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make up a trace, show you just how easy it is. I've got several different types of wire, but this is nice thin wire, quite flexible. Just need to buy some crimps. Obviously have your trebles, swivel, strong swivel, and you're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to put things I'm not using away for a minute. Simply need the wire to start with, so I'm going to take some wire and I'm going to feed a crimp on to the wire. Just want to keep looking up, which is then probably stopping you seeing what I'm seeing. It's quite hard to do this with a head cam. Right, so for better eyesight. Okay, so you thread the crimp on. What we're going to do, I'm just going to cut that end off, just make it a neater end. So the crimp now is on the wire. Then going to get my treble, put the treble on, and then I'm going to feed the crimp, the line back through the crimp, or the wire back through the crimp. Right, so the wire is through the crimp, okay, and it can, the hook can move freely. Now I don't really want anything sticking out the end, so what I'm going to do before I crimp it tight, I've cut off that loose tag, and then I'm going to bring the crimp back just a smidge so that everything is inside that crimp. There's no wire sticking through and out. Now I'm going to crimp that tight. When I use a crimping tool, I must be honest, I don't put it into the first groove and just crimp down, because I found they will pull free. I've just literally used the nose part and flatten it, and I've never had anything pull free like that. Someone might tell me there's a reason you don't do that, but that that is now well and truly on there. Now what you can do, you can slide a rubber over the end of that just to cover it all up, but I tend to find that they move after a while. I don't really feel they do much. You want your wire trace to be at least 18 inches long, I think. So I'm going to bring that out like that, approximately 18 inches, cut that off. So far I've got that going on. Okay, so I have got my treble in place on my wire. Okay, now to fix that second treble on, there's a number of ways. You can twist it on, you can do all sorts, but what I find works really quite well, get another crimp, feed the crimp down your trace, so I've got a second crimp on there now. Okay, in true Blue Peter form, I have already prepared another small length of wire. Okay, so I've cut that off. I then get my second treble, put the wire through the second treble, bend the wire around. I don't want to necessarily put a kink in it, so I'm now going to bend it round to form a U. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut that end off there and make sure that it's absolutely squared off. If it's not, you're going to really struggle to thread it in the crimp. Okay, so now you can see I've got the two ends of the wire. I'm going to feed them into that crimp, and this is where it's important to have a crimp that is actually sort of a larger crimp than they would recommend for the wire, because you're going to have 3 bits of wire going through this crimp, all being well. Okay, hopefully you can see on there that I've got my crimp. I've got that bit of wire has gone through the crimp. Then you're going to position it where you want on the trace. So that looks about right to me. And crimp really tight. Okay, so now I've got a nice free swinging treble further up the trace that is not going to slip, it's not going to slide, and I've now got both of my trebles where I want them. The other end, I'm going to put a crimp on first, thread it through a swivel, bend it round, push it back through the crimp it, job done. Okay, so that is now gone through the crimp, round through the swivel, back through the crimp. Tighten that down. And that took me, well, when I was explaining what I was doing, that took me about 4 or 5 minutes, 5 minutes to make up a snap tackle on site. Okay, so you can buy all of that. I've got different treble sizes, I've got different types of wire, all sorts going on there, and that means when you invariably catch a pike, get kinks in your line or in your trace, you're not going to use it again. You can use all the basics of that and start again. And then these are very, very, very good way of storing traces. So I'll simply get my treble, hook it over one of those eyes, and then I'll wind it on. Okay, so plenty of trebles, snap tackles already made up. Pop them in there, just jiggle them about a bit to get them in, and you can keep them nice and safe. Plenty of snap tackles, never going to run out. Check I'm filming. Yes, I am. And we're in at last. About flipping time, I tell you, seriously. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, this just isn't going to happen today. Just very aware that the day, you know, the time was cracking on. Ooh. It's got a bit of weight. Yep. Low double, maybe 10. At the moment, I will take it. Oh, you had any luck so far?
I'll wait until tonight.
Yeah.
The wind drops on to bait it then.
Oh, it's not bad. A very welcome sight. Come here, baby. Oh, bugger. I need to get a predator net. It's got no strength in it at all, that. Whoa. Whereas the fish has. Come on, buddy. Oh, bloody hell.
Strength in the arm, mate.
I had a shoulder operation last year. I've had a complete new shoulder, yeah. And I'm still trying to get my strength back in that arm. Come here, buddy. No, that's all right now, I think. Yeah, got it. Whew. Well, if nothing else, I'm not going home. That's actually, it's bigger than 10. Right. Oh, actually, that's a fat one. Say again?
Get rid of some of that little brain.
Yeah, I reckon. Now, I just want to make sure I don't pick up the other hook now.
Alright?
Yep. Yeah.
I'll get one or two of them.
Yeah, get a few, will you? Oop. So, probably got about an hour's fishing left. Still hope to catch at least one more. It's that time of day. Give my unhooking mats a bit of a clean down in a minute. Put away things that I don't need. I might even drop that bivvy in a while, because there's things like that take a while to pack up at the end of the day, and I'd rather just fish to the very last moment before I run out of line. But we'll see. Well, I hope you've enjoyed something other than fly fishing. Obviously a lot of people have been watching my fly fishing videos of late, which I really enjoy doing, and the pike fishing is something that over the years I have done a lot of, and I want to include lots of different types of fishing on my channel. Right, we've got a drop back here, and yep, we're in. That was funny, I got a nudge on it, and then what I did, I just took the rod out of the holder, don't think it's necessarily huge, it's a fighter, it's running me a merry dance, but I think it's a smaller fish. Yeah, still it's a fish. Basically I just had a tap on the oops, gonna get caught up here, on the bite alarm. Oh, cracking. Probably about 7 or 8 pounds, I reckon. Okay, so lay it down. Always be careful when you're gilling it, just to make sure you don't end up with the hooks in your hand. Right, pretty little fish. Off he goes, or she goes. That's me done for today. 2 fish, one of 16 pounds, one probably 7 or 8 pounds. Wasn't quite as exciting a day as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was really going to be full on, but I'm not going home empty-handed. It's been fun. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit subscribe and like, and the bell icon, just to see more upcoming videos. That'd be great. Okay, so that's me done for today, ledgering dead baits for pike. See you on the next video.